Hey, well, this game needs my firewall. Not really sure why. It's a game about digging holes. Yeah. What the fuck is this? I'm sorry. What is this? What is this menu? What is this menu? What? What does it mean by default music volume? Why does it go from default music volume to -10? What the fuck is this? Who made this? What sicko would do this? Why would you design your menu like this? What is this? What happened to sliders and bars and like things like that? What happened to meters, sound meters, volume meters that we can like drag and drop and slide? What happened? Anyways, this is a game about digging holes. So now you see why we had to stop playing Digseum, because this game is also about digging holes. And this game is what I thought Digseum wouldn't be. But Digseum was probably what this game was. But this game is in 3D. Oh, sorry. 23. 23. There's a house for sale. Only $10,000. With a gold treasure in the garden. Oh boy. Buy now and get rich. That's an interesting conundrum. That's an interesting sort of like trade offer. Would you want to buy a home that is very cheap, but you have to dig up a treasure chest? And if you don't, you have to sell the house. Explodes when battery gets empty. So yeah, Steam recommended me this. In fact, it's weird how Steam recommended me 2 games about digging holes. This looks like a Unity asset flip. Why did Steam recommend me this? Why did Steam recommend me this? What is this? Sell ores. Okay. Solar punk. What? Upgrades. Oh no. Battery. Price to fill up depends on current battery level. Digging and using jetpack consumes thing. Used to destroy rocks and lava rocks. Can't destroy white rock. Lamps cannot be picked up again once... Lamps? What? Sure, I'll save. What is this? I can't go inside my own house? What's the point of buying a home? I have a grill. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, this is gonna be awful, isn't it? We have stone. Yeah, this is just the same game as the last one. It's actually the same game as the last one, but harder. Like, you have to do more. Oh, a rock. How much do you sell a stone for? Hey. What did I expect? So, I have to... How much money does it cost to refill my battery? $1? I'm running on solar power. This is great. Oh god. Oh god. You can't hold left click. You have to click. This thing barely digs. It's the type of hole digging that you get when you ask your child, like your teenager, to help you build like to dig the holes for your fence posts, right? I say that because I was that child. It's very weak. And in a way, this game feels like it's meant to be a tech demo for the ability for you to dynamically break terrain like this. Which, to be fair, is really cool. I'm surprised that more games don't do this, but having tried to program it myself, it is a little annoying to do well. And then everything has to sort of account for it. Say, weather and stuff. You have to make sure that the rain doesn't go into the cave. It has to only fall on the surface. So I kind of get why people don't do it. But having played with it in No Man's Sky and stuff, it is very surprisingly good. On the other hand, it doesn't really feel like a tech demo because you can jump around. So I'm assuming as you go deeper and deeper, you're probably going to have to figure out how to climb out of the hole that you've dug. There's also... What if the treasure isn't even in the center? Like, there's a good chance the treasure could be here. I was thinking to myself, maybe I would accept this offer. You know, buy a home for $10,000, but the city forces you to dig the hole to see what's underneath. You have to do the excavation. But maybe you don't want to do this. This is surprisingly grueling, even as a virtual game. My finger already hurts. If I go all straight down and I can't climb out, what happens? Do I die? The real treasure is the journey. Hey, you missed the Minesweeper game. Or you missed the Minesweeper-like game. Oh, we've iron. It's honestly a good thing that you missed the Minesweeper game, right? Because it's. I think you would have been you would have been addicted to it too. But hello, chat, and welcome. Welcome to my new home. Not this. This is like it's just my neighbor's house. This is my new home. Actually, okay, so I don't know if this is weird. So you know in Minecraft, right? You can just dig a hole to make a home, right? I've always wanted to live inside of a cave. I tell my wife often, like I tell her very often, we could just move to a cave, and I could like wire the internet to be downstairs too. And honestly, it'd be kind of nice. You save on heating because it's always cold, right? You save on having to, you know, deal with like your lawn because you don't have one. You have a built-in self-defense system because if anyone tries to attack you, they just get stuck in the cave, right? It's pretty good. And actually, there's a YouTuber who did this. he's an engineer. I think his name is Colin something. He dug a tunnel from his home out to his garage, and he made like an underground society underneath his own home. I wish I could find that video again, because that video, that's the thing that inspired me to make like a cave home. Oh no. The ore got destroyed? Why? Why? It's my bag. It's too full. Okay. This game is a little harder than I expected. You have to be careful not to accidentally punch the rock that you're getting. You must excavate from the dirt like a real cave. Do I have bag space? I do. Another thing that's really nice about living in a hole too is no one can find you. Oh. Okay. Like no one will bother you while you're down here. You're just left to your own devices, living your own life, dealing with whatever you want to deal with. You choose your day-to-day life. You have mixed feelings. You still have mixed feelings about KCD too. I swear that game has ruined you in some way. Because every time we have a conversation, you always bring up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And you always have some negative thing to say about it. Which is not bad. Because you're not the only one who's like said that. But it is funny to me that the game has failed you has failed you so much that it's sort of like ruined your perception of it as a whole. You're 55 hours in it, you hate it, and you like it. It doesn't bring anything new the more you play it, yet it's still better than most games that come out these days. Especially since it's optimized and doesn't run on Unreal. Wait, it's optimized, really? So the Unreal bit is interesting, because I'm realizing now, reading more and more about the documentation, I don't think people are using the new features correctly. Like, you know how games will crash and give you like a blue screen when you do shaded compilation, right? There's settings to tweak that behavior. It doesn't have to crash people. But by default, I just think no one tweaks it, so it just kind of blows up your machine because it's using all of your machine. And then also, like Nanite and stuff, is pretty neat. Like, Nanite's actually kind of cool. But it's just that trade-off of like, you have to know when to use a software renderer. And it's basically the only time you would is when you have a lot of detail with a very high view distance. But the fact that it's optimized is also interesting. And you are correct. It's like, I've had that thought about many games that I played recently, where I hate them, but at the same time, it's a lot better than what you would usually find out there. But to hear that about KCD too, that's very fascinating. What's the, what's like the? Would you, I guess like, would you prefer it to have been different as a whole? Would you have preferred that it was that it was an entirely different game, sort of losing what it was, to be something new entirely? Or is it more so that you just wanted more of the same, but sort of evolved, and it didn't really evolve much at all? Because I wonder if there's like a dichotomy of... There's probably some player of the game who loves that game, who enjoys the fact that it's the same game, for the most part. You never played KCD 1. Oh, wait, oh. KCD 2 is okay, but it could be better. Oh, I see. And then you're comparing it to games like... what was the other game that you mentioned? Valheim, right? Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. There's something here. What you see in Unreal Engine can be good, but a lot of techniques that are used by default are worse than the older way to make games. Yeah, that's true. Well, because it's like the engine and like everything that you read about the engine, especially with like the new shit like Nanite and stuff, it applies to maybe like a fraction of the games that are being made out there, right? Like, of the games that could use Nanite and actually gain performance from it, you're looking at maybe the AAA side, when they have to make those like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, for instance, with the open world and you go outside and you see this like beautiful landscape vista. It's not for the games that you usually see, like this. This is an Unreal Engine game. And Nanite would be significantly worse here to run. It just wouldn't work. It's just not the use case. Hey! What's that? Oh boy. You saw the new Avowed, and if you compare it to that, KCD feels a lot better, and both are indie devs, you think. Okay, I will say this. My buddy and I had this discussion. I'm not sold on Avowed. I don't think Avowed is going to be as good as people think it will be. Not because I think it's going to be... Not because I think the concept is like bad or anything. But when I play Outer Worlds, I don't think to myself, oh, I'm having a good time. I think to myself, I'm playing a game that I wish wasn't Outer Worlds. Like, it just makes me yearn for an entirely different type of experience and type of quality. Some streamers are already playing it. Yeah, wait, is it out already? I'm hoping it's good. Like, I do hope that it is good, because it's the right genre of game that I want to play. But I'm worried it's going to be exactly the way that you feel for KCD 2, where it's like you've had a taste of the good life with Moidheim or say Mountain Blade, and you know how good the experience could be, but you know it's just not there yet. For most people, it's out in 4 days. Oh, I see. So it's the streamer privilege thing, right? I see. Should we do that? Like, should we give away copies of the pinball roguelike that will definitely program to streamers? I still don't know if there's ROI for that move. I haven't seen any real measurements of how much money streamers bring to a game. The only examples that I could find was for Among Us. I'm not kidding you. That's the only game that I know of that was made into a multi-million-dollar game. Every other game, I feel like the value is very nebulous. Nebulous. Hard for me to like justify. Even reviews in many ways feel almost counter to what you'd want from the spend. Because they speak the truth, and do you really want someone to speak the truth about your game? You never understood AAA devs sponsoring streamers since they would have played it anyways. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And it would have made more sense, I think, for indie games. It makes more sense because it's kind of hard to get most people to play indie games. The only other person that I know of that plays indie games is Northern Lion. That's like a huge streamer. For some reason, he like plays shit like Puck. It's like a random game about hockey. Which, to be fair, he's like Canadian, so it makes sense. But yeah, this is all a good discussion because I am gonna have to think about this stuff soon. Because when we definitely finish the pinball game, I'm gonna have to think about how to cash in, right? Starting Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember when I said I would. Also, this game really is just about digging a hole. Like, I don't know what I expected. The game is titled "A Game About Digging a Hole." I just thought to myself it was more of a satirical name, and I thought the description would be much more like. I thought to myself maybe it's more of a like a for fun thing, and then surely there's like more effort to it. Not that it's a low effort game. It actually is kind of cool the fact that you can dynamically change the terrain like this, and there is a strategy to you have to think about how you dig the floor. But it's just the fact that it is just digging a hole that's just funny to me. Yeah, thank you for telling me about KCD2. And it's if you feel that way about KCD2 as a new player, because that's how I felt about KCD1, where I played KCD1 and in many ways it was really really cool, but I had also tasted the forbidden fruits of games like Mount and Blade, games like Chivalry, and I just sort of thought to myself, I played this years ago as a Half-Life 2 mod. And so if you feel like that for the sequel, I am kind of worried about getting it myself too. Because not to say that I didn't enjoy the first game, but I treated the first game more like a Skyrim-esque game where you kind of just do weird shit versus necessarily, I think, a historical sim game where I really, really engaged well with the combat. I genuinely, I think most of my fun time in that game was primarily the role-playing and the ability and the fact that you can actually max out. So people don't know this. You can max out all of your skills in the starting town, and the best skill to max out is the thievery skill. You buy one savior schnapps, you get behind somebody, you attempt to knock them out until you would do, and you attempt to knock out a guard. You then steal the guard's knife and you use the knife to kill every guard inside town except for the story NPC ones. Holy shit! There's a cave. Yo, there's a cave. Oh, sorry. Give me a second. I have to close the garage door. Okay, I'm back. That should be the last interruption. KCD2 has voice acting for your character. It seems like a small thing, but it really brings it to the next level. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I think the game is a very good RPG game. And again, it's the one element of the game that I engaged with the most. I thought the game was a fantastic RPG where you got to be a character and you had a whole history and a life. And specifically in KCD1 as well, I liked the little story hints that the game gave you as to the depth of your character and the depth of the world. And I really enjoyed how it merged real history with it too. Like, I thought it was a fantastic take on this idea of a game that tries to place you in not the shoes of like a Half-Life 2 silent protagonist, but in a character in a world that's already alive before you even get there. But, you know, again, it was hard for me to engage with it meaningfully because I really do like primarily just the gameplay aspects. Because a lot of the history sort of like, it loses its luster on me very quickly. I'm not too big into medieval stuff. I just like swords. I think at the beginning, KCD in both story and gameplay driven, but the more you play, it's more about the story. Still bring any new mechanics to the gameplay. Okay, that's a very interesting take then. Yeah, because if it is that, then it makes me wonder why I would get it. Because again, it's like I like the story and I liked how you had this like interesting character, but would it be nice to get more gameplay elements to it? Not to say again, it's not a bad story. I think a lot of the historical stuff is not my interest. It's not my go-to style of storytelling, which is a little sad for me. Would it be nice to have more raw gameplay? I would have liked to have more. I guess is there more simulation aspects, or is it still very Skyrim-y? Like, if you know what I mean. Like, would you say the game is very, very Elder Scrolls-esque, where the simulation is like a wide pond? It's very shallow, but it's very wide at the same time. You have a lot of things that you can do, but if you do them more than 5 minutes, you realize that there's not really much to do. Because that was my problem with the first game. Where it had all these cool little things. You had like dice games and stuff, but at some point you realize, oh, it's not really... doesn't really do anything. Doesn't really go anywhere. But the one main thing that was really good was the combat. But again, I think once you taste the the forbidden fruits of, say, Mountain Blade and stuff. It was kind of hard for me to want to go back to that. You know what it is? We're just not the target audience. I think nowadays, and I think this is just true of specifically me, but maybe it extends to other people too, but I tend to find myself wanting things from things that aren't that. Like, I tend to find myself, say, playing something and being like, it's not a million other things at the same time. And, like, maybe I just need to be okay with the fact that not everything is made for me. And maybe the thing that was made for me was made a long time ago. And so all that's left for me is nothing. Maybe maybe nothing new is actually for me. Maybe it's all just old stuff that no longer matters. Maybe I'm the problem. No, it can't be. I don't know. It just can't be. But yeah, it's very interesting to sort of hear people's takes on it. Because I was thinking to myself, do I even want to play KCD 2? Because I wasn't engaged enough in KCD 1 to really enjoy the entire playthrough. There were many moments where I felt like it was a slog. Not because it was bad, but because it just, again, wasn't my cup of tea to go through history. It was cool to see it, but it, it's kind of hard. All the minigames do get repetitive like the dice, and don't have any effect at the end. At most, you can hear one new voice listening. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how I felt like with the first game, too. Because you see the possibility of the dice, and in a way, I think I imagined the idea of the storyline maybe evolving kind of like how the Thieves Guild would in Skyrim. Maybe you could be like a dice dealer or something, but no, it just ends up being like a side minigame that you do, similar to Triple Triad in Final Fantasy. Or even like Gwent in The Witcher. It's just an extra thing to do. What is going on down here? It was crazy to think about. You don't know what's under your home. And some people live in places where there's too much under your home. Like, if you live in Greece or something, right? Or you live in, I don't know, like, what's a place that has, like, a lot of adjacency to, like, ancient history, okay? If you live in Greece and you build your home, and then one day you want to add, like, a basement to it, you never know what's going to happen. You might end up making your basement, or you might have to surrender your home to the cultural preservation efforts because they found a Roman bathhouse under your home. You just don't know. Why is there no collision with the tree? All the side hobbies like sword crafting, potion crafting is worthless and slow, since stealing is so much more rewarding. Okay, well, it's good that you found the strength of stealing. That's kind of unfortunate, yeah. Maybe, I guess it makes sense. The way that they always marketed the game did feel like it was more of a graphical upgrade and more of a story-based upgrade, or a story continuation versus a gameplay thing. But yeah, stealing, even in the first game, was the most profitable thing that you could do. It was never actually worth it to engage with the morality of the game, because there really was very few consequences for it. And the crafting stuff, most games don't do crafting well, but that game also just does crafting very, very poorly. You can spend 3 minutes making a sword, sell it for $30, or spend 1 minute stealing from the whole village and getting 1k. Have you thought about the feelings of the people that you steal from? Have you thought about the morality of your actions? Have you thought about the way that would make someone feel? Did you know that when you steal things, you hurt them? Did you know that these like NPCs' feelings matter? Or do they not matter to you? When you type to ChatGPT, do you say please and thank you? Do you say hello, how's your day? Or do you just say make me this thing? I bet you don't even greet your AI. Does it matter if they don't notice it? Okay. I give you a moral quandary, okay? I'm gonna give you a moral quandary. It's a bit like the shopping cart, but with rich people, okay? You would know a rich person. You're at their house. You have the opportunity to take $100 from like a table that you're standing at, okay? They won't even notice because to them $100 is like pennies, basically, right? They wouldn't even care if it's gone. Like it's just there, and they don't even know. They would never find out too. Would you still do it? And let's presume in this scenario that you don't. Actually, no. I won't presume anything. Take the condition as you will at the moment. So whether or not you need the money or you don't, would you take the money knowing that there's no consequences for it? It wouldn't hurt the person that you're stealing from. It wouldn't ever be discovered. You would only have to deal with the moral consequences of it. Would you do it? That is actually one thing too. I am sad that more games don't do long-term mechanics. Like a lot of games really don't do long-term consequences for your negative actions. And it's weird because in many ways, when you play Skyrim, it still feels very forward-looking. Because in that game, depending on if you kill somebody, for instance, their spouse will try to kill you by hiring some assassin, okay? Or if you steal something from them and they eventually find out, which I think is just a random roll, or if they see you, right? Then what ends up happening is that they'll hire an assassin to try to beat you up for it. It's really all down to assassins. But I haven't seen any other game do that. Like, there's no other game that actually does that level of awareness and long-term consequence as you would for these characters. Heal? You would close your eyes and take it. Whoops, they fell in my pocket. Would you do like a Looney Tunes thing? So you put like a fan. So you point a fan towards the bill of money. That way, you know, the wind would happen to blow it into your pocket. Now I'm going to impose conditions on you. Let's say you don't need the money. Let's say you are not equally as rich, but well off enough that you don't need the money. Would you still steal it, knowing the moral consequences? And again, there's only moral consequences. It's just like the shopping cart test. It's the exact same. Would you still steal it? I see now why the game gives you a lamp. It's very dark. It's silver. Oh, yes. Oh, we're gonna make so much money. How long is this game? Oh, God. I see now why they let you buy a lamp. I should probably buy one lamp. We'll buy a lamp. We'll place it there. We'll try to make our way through. Use to destroy rocks and lava rocks. Can't destroy white rock. I think for a poor person, it's more justifiable. Because this person won't miss it, aka there's no real consequence to you doing it. And B, the poor person needs it or they're gonna die. Well, not like die, but you know what I mean? Like it would actually go towards a meaningful purpose. This is presuming too that the person wouldn't give you the money if you ask, right? Which could be an angle, I think. Maybe. If you trust a rich person to have morals. Actually, this also assumes that you believe that rich people have morals. Morality is an interesting question. It depends on the person stealing. If it's poor stealing, you don't see it as morally wrong. If rich person is stealing, then you'll see it as a dick. That's the thing, right? Yeah, like it's interesting because of that dichotomy. Because one is a need, but one is greed. But then it's like, is being greedy necessarily wrong? Because, again, the person that you're stealing it from, they're not necessarily, like, they won't be hurt by it. They have billions of dollars, right? So, is it really a greedy thing to do, and is it necessarily bad to be greedy? Kind of an interesting question. Like, here, look, okay. Your neighbor is away on vacation, okay? Their basement, you know, many years ago, 300 generations ago, one of their ancestors who lived at that house buried a treasure chest. Would you go and dig up their yard for the treasure chest? Okay, they wouldn't even know, and you would return all the dirt so the yard looks spotless. Would you do it? I would. What is greed anyway? That's a very good question. Very good question. Scrooge McDuck would say he can never have enough. But I don't want like I don't know if we should base our morality on Scrooge McDuck. I don't think he should be the one to answer what is greed. He should be perhaps the the poster boy for greed. But I don't think he should be the one that we ask for the morality of what is greed. Holy shit, there's a drill. Warning. You haven't saved the game for 30 minutes. Oh, thank you. Why does it... How come these games don't... Why don't you autosave? Anyways, it's also good to know if I ever... Let's say, like, if I ever have, like, a TwitchCon meetup or something, okay? So I got a... POV, we're at TwitchCon. I do the glizzy stand, alright? I make the hot dog stand. You've all finished eating your hot dogs. We're at, like, a meet and greet session now, right? I would not stand beside any of you. Or if I stand beside any of you, I would keep my hands on my pockets. This was all just a test to see what your opinions of somebody like me was. Not that I'm like bonkers rich, but I presumably make more than most of you here. Presumably, but if you make more than me, then let me steal from you. See, that's the thing, right? It's like, when do you, like, do you consider it to be they're poor in relation to the person who you're stealing from? Or do you consider them to be poor as an absolute based on the state of their cost of living? Because then it's like, do you then moralize that and say, well, you know, think about the people who are living in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, how far do you go? I say that because I am Vietnamese, okay? I just... How far do you go? How far? Ooh, cave. I just realized the implications of this game. You buy a property for $10,000. They say there's treasure here, so you can get that $10,000 treasure or something, right? Or like however much it is. But then the dynamite says it blows up lava rock. Like, what does that mean when there's lava rock? How dangerous is this cave? Actually, why can't we do this now? Like, why did we stop just digging random holes in the ground to try to find, like, ore? Because couldn't we just do this now? Like, what? Who's to say that under my property right now, which is not really mine, but who's to say that under the place where I live that there isn't gold? How do we really know? Like diamonds. It's giving me ideas. It does seem kind of fun to dig down to find a cave. Actually, there's a guy in my city who so the police thought it was a terrorist attack because they found like a weird tunnel. They found a tunnel that was in the middle of the woods, and they thought it was like a terrorist attack. They thought terrorists were trying to build a tunnel, and I'm not kidding you. They called it like the Terra tunnels or like something. They were worried that the tunnels were going to be used for some nefarious deed to like transport things. Okay. And I don't know why they thought terrorists, but they also thought drugs. Turns out, I'm not kidding you. It was a dude who just dug a tunnel because he said, and I quote, he just had the urge to. He had the urge to dig a tunnel. So he worked like a normal job. He was an engineer. Or like a engineering student who like just got their internship. So he, every day or something. Or maybe he wasn't an engineer. I forget exactly what his job was, but it was a very normal job that it had adjacency to digging holes. And he just dug the hole because he felt like he wanted to. It was a way for him to relieve the stress in his life. Was to dig the hole. And my city was freaking out. They're like, oh my god. We're going to die. Someone is building a terror tunnel to the middle of the city, starting from the outskirts of the woods. So this is the rock. I'm assuming white rock is like the bedrock in Minecraft, aka it's like the final piece that you can't get out of. So that's what this is. That's what this is looking like. It's getting a little claustrophobic down there. This is a weird game. We need to buy some dynamite here. Actually, where's the music? Why is there no music? Oh heck yeah. Oh heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Here we go. You have to go sleep? No worries. Good night, chat. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm surprised that actually you're sleeping on time. Usually, again, I don't know why chat usually does this, but chat usually stays on for too long. And they'll try and stay up for an entire thing. And so I talked to some of you, and the way that you talk about your sleep and the way that you neglect your sleep feels like a form of abuse to yourself. What? What did my scanner change? Down? Huh? What's down? What's that? Is that gold? Uh-oh. 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 I'm lost. Uh-oh. Okay, is it safe? This thing doesn't do too much damage, right? Is it safe? Is that a white rock? That's not white rock, right? Does that do damage to me? Yep. Yeah, okay. I take it back. I don't think I would want to dig a hole here. It's a very dangerous job. This is awful. Maybe it's not worth it. I could stumble upon an old subway station. I could stumble upon an old Roman bath. Or I could break my back trying to get nothing. Doesn't really seem worth it. I suppose this is why we have tools now to scan the earth. Down? So down. Go up. It's on this level. It was closest here? Closest here. Maybe I should do a survey. You know? Maybe I should do a survey and see what's underneath my home. Like, do you get, if you have a home, let's say, and you know, and you discover that there's oil, do you own the oil and can you sell it to somebody? Would it be worth more than your property on some level? Surely there must be a system. Because think about it. Back then, when they built houses, they built them before they even knew what was underneath. What the hell is this? What am I doing? Digging a hole? Unearth any Balrogs? Not yet. At least I don't think so, not yet. We do have this door? I don't know what this is. What is this? What is this? This is a weird game. It feels like we're finding some new underground society that has been forgotten for years. That the world hasn't seen in forever. But how are you, chat? And welcome. You've inspired a new segment soon, very soon. Because I didn't know that Halo modding was that deep. So we're gonna do a Halo modding segment soon. Or a Halo custom map modding type of deal. Because I didn't know it was that complex. And so you've inspired me to fully check it out and really see what it's all about. There's a sign here. Especially knowing that there's games like what seems to be Trouble in Terrace Town and like stuff. That's fascinating to me. That's more like Garizamon now. It's big. They don't advertise it well, eh? Like they don't. If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known. And I feel like it's a very good thing to advertise. Like it feels like the type of thing that they should talk about. Because Roblox is huge, right? It's all custom game stuff. Oh, it's not user friendly. So entry to it is difficult in comparison to Halo 3. Oh, like well, what do you mean by not user friendly? Is it because you have to download the files yourself? Like there's no server browser, or? Because that's interesting to me. That's not user friendly. Because I remember Halo 3's Forge was really good. Like A, it was built into it, very easy to use. B, the maps would just download for you. Pretty nice. Where's the ow? Where's the thing? Where is it? We go. There we go. Right there. Is this white rock or is this? Like, can I do this? Oh! I can't move. Sorry, I wasn't able to move. I almost died. I'm surprised that more games don't have modding tools. It's surprising how much longevity they give to the game. And how much value they give to the game, too. I've been getting back into Warcraft 3, for instance. And that game is still somehow very popular. Like, there's a ton of custom games in it. God damn it! That is still very popular. And in fact, of all the games that I've seen get popular, for some reason Desert Strike is really popular at the moment, and I don't know why. But oh, is that the chest? Oh shit! Wow, that was fast. This is what? That's it? Oh, it's a crate full of dynamite, lamp, and money. Oh. Oh. Oh, it's just a. I see. It's like a bonus chest. Okay, I get it. But you're not actually done. It's just a bonus chest. Okay, well, you know what? I was a bit happy that maybe we were done already. At the same time, I was also kind of flabbergasted, but no, they wouldn't let a game like this end too soon. This is a masterpiece. You need to let this thing sit and marinate. Halo 3 was a lot more simplistic, and anyone could navigate it without much issue. There are like coding aspects of it in Halo Infinite. Oh, if you have a coding background, then it's easy, but if you don't, then it's overwhelming. It sounds a lot like what happened to StarCraft 2. Where StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3, like Warcraft 3 is a fully visual editor. And the editor itself had many built-ins that were very easy to use. So people could make maps like tower defenses very easily. And in StarCraft 2, enhanced it a lot, didn't give you many assets, but effectively made the barrier to entry a lot higher. And so it kind of died. The more things change, the more they stay the same. That's interesting. But is it still as easy from like an end user perspective? Like, can your average player just go in and download a map and play? Like, it's still simple. But it just means that you have less people making maps that are simple and fun, because you have to be a programmer to like do it. I've always wondered if there's a middle ground to the complexity, because if you keep it too simple, then people get bored of it, right? Like, if it's too simple, no one's gonna want to make stuff for it, because it's too hard to do things inside the game. And so you have to exert more and more effort, where it'd be easier to go into a separate game engine, and then you lose your talented creators because they're making their own games. So you can no longer exploit them. But if it's too difficult, like if there's too many things that you can do, and there's no easy pathway to doing them, then you run into the problem of nobody can do anything. Maybe the middle ground is to do, again, like what Warcraft 3 did, where you just have a lot of very easy primitives to use. I am shovel. What's this? Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. Okay. Wait. I'm there. We dig the entire yard. It's like mowing the lawn. POV, you hire someone to mow the lawn, and they do the job a little too well. Wait, couldn't I just go like this? Couldn't I just go straight down? What's stopping me besides the fact that I have to leave the hole at some point? Oh, that's so good. This is such a good game. I get this game now. You fall in the lava. Everyone knows that. Have you made any custom maps, fellow programmer? One of the many programmers somehow in the chat. Have any of us made anything worth talking about? Huh? Can I please lay claim to the idea that we're a programming society here? Because, you know, I posted a plugin inside the Femboy Socks channel, right? For JetBrains IDEs. It's a fuzzy search for JetBrains IDEs called Fuzzier. It's made by a dude who watches the Primogen. Where's your plugins, chat, huh? We need programming credit around here. You were the computer system technician. Not exactly a programmer. More scripting is your understanding, but you don't do it really. You're more of the IT guy. You know what? You still belong here. I always say this to my IT people. I'm always like, without you, we wouldn't have like before programming. There's you. You know what I mean? Like you. Without you, there's no programming. If that makes sense. I don't want to deal with that stuff. In many ways, you know, a lot of programmers can't too. Like a lot of programmers I know don't really know anything about systems administration stuff. Like it's a very specialized thing to do. And administration of any kind of system. So fixing the actual physical stuff, fixing the physical machines, or even doing stuff like setting up, say, networks and the stuff. I rely on my sysadmin buddy to learn a lot about how to do that stuff. You know what? We don't need to buy lamps if this is genius. I don't have to buy lamps if I just dig the entire top, because then there's just natural sunlight. I'm a genius. Yeah, you were more IP networking traffic with Windows Server kind of thing. How is Windows Servers nowadays? Like, do you enjoy Windows Server nowadays? Because every time I've tried to look at it and tried to take it seriously, I can never really wrap my head around the things that it does and the ways that you interact with it. Like, to me, it doesn't seem that good unless you need identity stuff. Like, you really, really need like and like if all your clients are primarily on the Windows and you need identity authentication and security stuff. POV, you enter my chat and then all of a sudden I start talking about your job. And I ask you to like talk about your job. You're here to take like a break, and it's like, okay, why am I talking about my job here? But I'm just interested. I just like it. This is a really good system. Holy shit! It's actually surprisingly solid. This is a very solid like terrain deformation system. You know what this is? I think you'll like this game if you enjoy Power Wash Simulator. But the opposite. Like, this whole thing is a window. This whole thing is just a giant dirty window. The neighbors must be so fucking pissed. The neighbors must be like, God damn it, is he out there again? Honey, Is that the neighbor again? What is he doing? He got a power drill from Canadian Tire. God damn it. I wouldn't mind doing this. You know, if you had a drill like this, maybe I would want to do it. Kind of sad that, like, in many ways technology has taken the worst turn. A lot of technology now is built for making money or efficiency and stuff, right? That's cool and all. Like, I like efficiency, sure, that's like nice, you know? I get to brush my teeth in like half the time that it used to take. But does it really matter to have an automatic toothbrush when you could have something like a drill? I just feel like society took technology the wrong way. We saw the potential and we made automatic toothbrushes and then drilling machines, but we never thought to make an automated hand drill. This is kind of cool. I want this. I have 2 lamps. What? I have 2 lamps? What? In a way, actually, this does feel like what you'd see if you lived beside like a technology YouTuber. More and more engineering YouTube is moving towards the absurd. Which, to be fair, again, I'm asking for the absurd, so it makes sense why they do the absurd. But this is what I imagine living beside an engineering YouTuber is like. Every day you wake up, you hear a new noise, a new tool. They have a jetpack, they have a flamethrower. You know, you call the police and they say there's nothing we can do. We tried. And it's their property, like, can you really stop them? No. I would go crazy, living beside this person. Actually, you know what's funny? I don't think I'm the only person that does streaming on my street. Sometimes I'll hear suspicious talking where it sounds a lot like somebody talking on the stream, like from maybe 1 or 2 houses down. So there's a very good chance there could be another streamer on my street, and you know, maybe we should collab. But at least neither of us are weird, fucked up engineers that do crazy things like absurd machines and stuff, right? We don't have to worry about the street collapsing because somebody decided to make a new underground garage. The Windows Server thing depends on what someone needs, you suppose. Network sharing and such, different networks for an office, admin stuff, giving people logins, nothing too interesting really. Same requirements for passive things. You can kind of compare it to a virtual machine in a way, if that makes sense. Oh, that actually does, that makes sense to me, actually. I'm still kind of cool. And still very useful. Still very important. Because I can't tell you how many times I had to deal with people on my team that didn't know how to make accounts for things. Or didn't know what to do when, like, their system was down. Without IT, I'm telling you right now, without IT, the world would be a worse place. Maybe digging out the entire yard might take a while. Maybe we get the money to get the ultra shovel and then we do it after. Maybe we make money and then we go crazy. I'm here to make money first. Let me just hoover up all the dirt. Oh yeah, just hoover it. This game should be multiplayer. I'm surprised that... How come no one's ever done this type of game? Windows Server is probably more about the bigger enterprise though. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's fair. Especially because, like, it feels like enterprises are built on Windows technology. Like, I've never seen anyone use Apple numbers for large-scale number crunching in, say, finance. And I've never seen anyone use any Google Chromebook for large-scale things. Like, it just doesn't work. Which makes sense why the Chromebook is now dead, but... It seems to me that it's all... In every large enterprise, it's always Windows. Where's all my silver? A game like this does exist. It's called Minecraft. It's like, you do need core for this game though, for sure. You need a digging buddy. Well, not need. But for sure, it'd be more fun with two. It's a bit like Power Wash, you know? Because Minecraft has the problem where there's skeletons and you can die. Not to say that dying is necessarily the worst thing in the game, but like, there's other things that you can do, and I tend to find that people get distracted by the things that they can do, and so they leave you alone. Like, this is how my Minecraft runs with my friends always go. We start out with a very honest plan of we'll stick together. Oh, even better example, Valheim, okay? Start out with a very clear idea of where we're going to stick together and do all the content. Inevitably, somebody runs off and does everything by themselves fighting dungeons. Some other person starts to build homes, and a sixth person goes off to, like, I don't know, mine ore. It's like it's the general discouragement that happens in these games. You don't know how many times you've been using a shovel to flatten out some dirt in the Minecraft. You would have loved some help. You should do, I'm surprised that the game actually still has no inventions to modify terrain. People have discovered how to make computers with a... It's easier to make a computer that makes from redstone than it is to make a tool that automatically flattens things in a game. That to me is fascinating. Is there no other cave in it? I need 1,500 for a shovel. A really nice shovel too. You heard about that? It was super cool. Also saw a calculator. Could only do basic functions though. Still amazing though. Yeah. And it was like the calculator one was especially upsetting to me because I don't understand how you can make it remember numbers and then calculate things. It in many ways, that portion of electronic engineering boggles my mind. How do you go from logic gates to computers? I'd be needing to take a full course on it at some point to understand the inner workings, because apparently it's not that complicated. And it makes sense as you layer more and more of it. And the complication really is how do you manufacture something with that level of scale? Like, you need, you know, nowadays it's like nanometers per pin on like a CPU, right? So that's the like difficulty versus necessarily the science behind it, but that's just hard to like imagine. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's all the computer really is. It's just logic gates. Yeah, zero and one. Yeah, that's why it's fascinating, because it feels like it should be simple enough to understand, but then when you like, it's just I can't wrap my head around how do you go from 0 and 1 to the rest of it. And how do you make it do things like, because it's like 0 and 1, but then how do you translate that into, okay, remember this value? You learned it in your program actually. Oh, yeah, because you're taking comp sci, right? Yeah, I know they do nowadays. They do like that full like the fundamentals course, which I really wish I should have taken or maybe paid more attention to it, but I did not. You know, that's the one thing that I really wish I really took more seriously with my program. My sort of self-induced program, because I didn't go officially, but I really wish I did more of the fundamental stuff. I think I skipped too quickly ahead to the programming bits. And in many ways, that's sort of that hampered a lot of my fundamental skill with the craft. It's the one downside to being self-taught, is that you don't really structure it well, and so what ends up happening is that you skip ahead too far and you end up in this worst place. What is this place? Oh, there's more. Secrets. you forgot the things, but they were like first the circuit board or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that, I wish I paid more attention to. Yeah, self-taught stuff is just so hard to keep a good curriculum. Like there's definitely a skill to making a good curriculum that gives you a well-rounded experience that builds on itself. Like it's because even with the online syllabus of a course, there's still so much crafting that you have to do to turn that into a usable curriculum that actually builds you up slowly, piece by piece. Thankfully, we have the internet, so I can probably Google this at some point. The problem too, though, actually, is that even if you can Google it, I don't know if you feel this too, but it's very hard to translate knowledge into learnings. If that makes sense. Like, I'll read about it, I'll read it and I'll understand it, but I won't be able to do anything with that knowledge. It just kind of sits there in my brain. And I won't have the ability to actually truly make use of it. Yeah, application versus information. Exactly, yeah. As long as you're good at researching and patience, then most of the time you're pretty well off. Yeah, but why do that when I can dig a hole, right? This is the life. I didn't spend 10 years programming in public to do more programming. Spent years programming to play a game about digging a hole and doing nothing with my life. This is the shit. Holy shit, it's lava. It's platinum. You do like to dig a damn nice hole. Yeah, I kind of wish Minecraft was less. I do in many ways yearn for a Minecraft that's just about digging holes. Just discovering. And I know there kind of is with the Minecraft adventure games, like the dungeon games and stuff, but Stardew? Yeah, kind of. Like, Stardew's okay, but it doesn't have the same feeling of the freedom of terrain. Terraria? Kind of. I think, okay, honestly, Terraria, you only build the town as a means for you to get weapons. So it does kind of work. Yeah, because most of your time in Terraria is spent going down further. And most of the time you find enough potions to keep you going. And you find random chests on the ground and the beds too. So you just kind of keep carrying the same thing. And you just keep on moving down further and further and further, upgrading your gear as you go. Like, that game is a surprisingly good action roguelike type of game. Where you just keep on going down further and further to upgrade. And then you come back up to do the fights. I didn't know that thing would burn me, please. Oh, yes. When you did Terraria, you built trap defenses with wiring and defense towers. Just because it was fun, even if it was ineffective. That game has towers? Really? I haven't played for a long time. I've been meaning to do a full playthrough of the latest patches. I think the last thing that I played was a patch before the Zenith item was added. I'm aware of its existence. But that's the last thing that I did was before that. Because that does sound kind of cool. You build a tower of blocks with buttons that activated various boulders that would roll off to kill in the invasions. Okay, well, to be fair, that still sounds cool. But I was expecting, in my mind, like a tower defense thing. Yeah, I can see myself complaining about that game. But then, if we play that game, we don't have time for these games. Like, it's too many games. Please work. What's in here? Nice! $500 and a lot of lamps. This is good. Oh, hell yeah. What the hell is that? It's like pistachios. Ooh. You know what? In a way, I kind of wish that Valheim was a bit more like Terraria. Like, it's... not to say that Valheim isn't, but the progression in the game definitely felt very stale. Though I haven't played the newest patch, and I've heard the newest patch is fantastic for that sense of progression. But I always felt to myself, playing Valheim, I wish this had more substance to it. So I could really feel the impact of being like a Viking. Okay, it's getting a little bit harder to leave the dungeon. It's kind of annoying to go back out in and out here. So at the start of Terraria, you enjoy mining early because the tools that you have, and they're limited. It's such an evolution of gameplay, going from scared of falling to having wings where there's no more fall damage. Yes, yeah. That power scaling feels nice. And you feel broken for the early things, but still the end game things are a challenge. That game did a surprisingly good job at keeping the challenge up. I still haven't played a game that really feels as good in terms of being a challenge as that game. Holy shit. Okay. Now we dig the entire thing out. Yes. You're gonna wait to play Valheim, honestly. You played a little to the first two bosses or whatever you think. You enjoyed the building aspect and the designs of it. That's a fair choice, yeah. It really is best to wait for that game, yeah, because it's gonna take a while to cook, I think. To be fair, it feels like it's going to be one of the better styles of that game. I think it's probably gonna win the eventual race, right? Like if you think of it as a challenge between these games, I think Valheim will probably be the best out of all of them because of that level of realism to it, which I think is going to be very, very nice. And that level of weird cooperative play where one person carries the wagon and one person mines. Like that level of realism you don't get from Minecraft and Terraria, so I think it will win. It's just going to take a long time. You enjoy the start of it too. It's like a different perspective of being scared of a cave to flying through it with a floating mining vessel mount that digs as fast as you can run. Yeah, exactly, yeah. You enjoy the wagon. I do too. That is hands down the best feature in any game I've ever played. And I don't know why games like Minecraft don't have that. You can't bring a wagon with you. And I always thought to myself that would be the best addition to a game like that. Because it feels very co-op oriented. Where's me or's parentheses British accents? Thank you. Thank you for adding the accent tag. Thank you. I appreciate that. It adds to the role playing. Thank you. Maybe instead of waiting for Valheim, somebody should make a mod for Minecraft where you can bring a wagon with you. And the wagon gets heavier, just like in Valheim. Right? Then you just play Valheim in the Minecraft. But the problem is that Minecraft is so easy now. Like it's very easy. I was kind of surprised at how easy Minecraft was. Like Valheim has the right amount of challenge to getting the items that I feel like really builds up well. Whereas Minecraft, it feels like once you get to maybe like stone, you're basically done the entire game. It's very easy to get the diamonds and break the entire game open. Terraria has the difficulty of combat. Valheim is difficulty of convincing your friends to carry the wagon back home on the ship. Oh shit, and the water! The water. I still think Valheim has the best water mechanics. For a Viking game, it is a genuinely convincing and solid Viking game. Because it matters. Your boats matter. The game's getting now way too loud. You never modded Skyrim, but you wonder at what point you wouldn't be able to recognize it was modded Skyrim. Weirdly, you always see that at Skyrim. There's have you seen that mod pack? There's a mod pack that's specifically built around changing the game so much that it feels like a whole different game. It includes third-person combat, changes the gameplay system to be a bit like Vindictus, where you're primarily performing like left-right attack combos, gives you a parry move, so it's a bit like a Dark Souls, gives you a dodge roll, It's a very different game. I think that mod pack was probably the best implementation of a Skyrim, but over modded that I've seen. It's getting a little annoying having to go back and sell these. And now there's a lot of ore here. A lot of coal in the way. Maybe I just keep on going and destroy the coal to save myself time and just dig straight down. Because I have enough energy to buy the batteries, so it doesn't really matter to me. Oh, you just mean that you can always tell it's Skyrim. It's weird. Even though it's changed so dramatically, you can always tell if I know what you mean. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. That game has a very distinctive look and feel. Actually, all of their games too. Like I can still recognize Starfield. Not that game has any marketing material anymore, but sometimes I'll see a thing about Starfield. Like my wife and I will be watching TV, and you'll see like an ad for Starfield, and you'll go, "Oh, yep, that's like Starfield." All the games have a very distinctive look that you can't see as something else. You never mistake it for Outer Worlds or Kingdom Come. It's just the Bethesda look. Isn't that supposed to come out in 2190? Star Citizen, you? I mean, no. Starfield is out. Starfield is out. That one's bad. Star Citizen, I don't think it'll be out ever. My buddy, he paid to get into the thing. Okay. I don't think he's seen a return on his money ever since. I genuinely don't think the Kickstarter is ever gonna go anywhere. It just feels like a scam the way that it's run, because it doesn't really make much sense. Like, surely you would think at some point somebody would pressure them to finish the game, but no, it just seems like it goes nowhere. Starfield, yucky. Yeah, it's very bland. I tried my hardest to like that game, because I do think, in terms of vibes, I really enjoy the vibe of the game. It was a very, very solid environment and a very solid sort of world that they built up. But I just couldn't get over the fact that it felt like I was playing a generic space shooter. It's very, very painful. You too, yeah. That's gonna happen. Oh god. You're a little cautious about the next Elder Scrolls too. You hope it goes well. Your dad is high. That's right. Tell your dad to give up. My buddy, we had the exact same discussion. Because we were talking about this, my buddy and I, and we neither of us have hope that the game is ever going to be good. No context. Dad give up, walks away. Yeah, exactly. Like, sorry, Dad, it's not gonna work. Because I just wonder if they even know why Starfield failed. Like, because even I have trouble articulating exactly why it failed. Because why is it bland, right? How do you narrow down what is that blandness? And it feels indicative of the fact that maybe tastes have changed because what they do is no longer... They're no longer the pioneers of their field, right? Like, it's... Every game today is like Starfield. In the sense of they've all met that level of quality. And all the game design bits about it that were really good are now known. On top of the fact that the game felt even more restrictive than the Elder Scrolls games. Where you really couldn't go too far in the game before you had to fly off. Do they know Starfield failed? Do they know? Well, so apparently they did make a lot of money from it. So presumably they do not know. I'm pretty sure they probably made enough to get returns on it. So they probably... Like, there's a very good chance they have no clue. And there's a very good chance that they actually made enough money on it that they probably think it's a success. But it really does feel like a game design that's trapped in 2010. And then on top of that, the level of friction that you have to moving around, it feels so much that it just doesn't feel fun. So many menus. And I'm just at the beginning in our playthrough too. Like I'm early on that I just kind of stopped playing it on the stream because I was like, it's not really exciting. Ow. Ow. You were just thinking, what do you dig so deep that you reach the end? Like, it's the Truman Show. And the voice speaks to you from the outside world. Oh, you should play a game called, click holding. Very similar concept. I would say click holding is the game that you're looking for, actually. The way that you describe that, it's exactly click holding. Trust me, totally great game. Not safe for work. Don't play it around people. You should play it by yourself, but boy is it good. I do wonder about that, right? Because you thought that I was gonna say Stanley Parable. No. To be fair, I've never played Stanley Parable. I've only watched someone play it, and even then, I don't remember. I've been meaning to play it because my one friend did want me to play it on the stream, but I've been waiting for him to be free too. So we'll see. Would be funny to watch me play. You know what? I'd be down at some point, maybe. I just need to wait for like a good time. I do wonder if there is an end to this game. There is apparently a chest at the bottom, but I'm already done the upgrades, and I don't think this game was meant to be played forever. I think this game was meant to be played one time. They randomly generated the map for a single go, and then they're basically done. The end is as long as Minecraft's end. I wish. Yeah, Minecraft surprisingly also doesn't really feel like a good ending game. And a lot of games don't really feel like they ended well, but Minecraft in particular feels like it doesn't end. You feel very unsatisfied. Oh. They say that the end wasn't good or it doesn't feel like it ends. Yeah, specifically the feeling. I think the end was cool. I liked the area. But it was more so the fact that it didn't feel like it amounted to anything. Huh? What? What is that? You got eaten by a mole. You lost your auras. What? Okay, well, I guess there's a mole down there. Okay, well, that was bad. Oh, that's what's under the home. Well, good thing I have all these extra bits of copper on my on my backyard. It's wild. That was I wasn't expecting that. I'm assuming the solution is to run for your life. That's probably when you need to run for your life and just not look back. I'm gonna save. And we're gonna try that again. I'm assuming that's the end of the game. You like how I just kind of stared at it. It was my fear response. I was just afraid. I was afraid to move calmly. Oh, okay. I've thought of this before, or I've said this last time. I don't think I would survive any situation where I'd need to run away from a serial killer. I think I would just stare at them as they chop me down, right? I'm not exactly self-preserving. Yeah. The fuck? Okay. Bit of a problem. I'm gonna make a little safety zone here for myself. Don't really know what to do here. This feels like a stealth mission. Bonk him with an anvil. I don't have any. He owns this place. Oh, he can't see me. He's blind. Yes. He's a blind mole. It's okay. As long as I don't aggro any moles, I should be okay. Oh shit, there's moles everywhere. Is it faster than me? I can't tell. It might be slower than me. I might be okay. Okay, good. You just keep on running. This is a weird segment for this game. For like a game about digging holes. It's for it to go into an adventure game. It's a chest. I found it. Yes. Was it all worth it? Was it worth it destroying my property value? Nope. Oh, that's why the guy wrote 23 on the thing. I get it. Bear noises. Yeah, they don't sound like moles. And that's why that's why he writes 24 on the thing. Because there's always someone new. This is just a ploy to feed the mole rats. To keep them fed, to keep them happy. So that he doesn't have to... This is what happens. What? Yeah, this is somebody who has a bunch of pets and wants to keep them fed. Achievement mode. You can now hunt achievements displayed in your garage. What? Sure. The Mole King. Yeah, exactly. Well, that was a fun game. Man. Why did Steam recommend me this? I don't know why Steam recommended me this. The last game I get. The last game I was recommended by my friend, but I don't know why Steam recommended me this. And I thought to myself, okay, we have 2 games about digging holes. It was kind of fun for a while, but it really was just about digging holes. Yeah. I'm kind of like whelmed. I'm very whelmed. I'm not really underwhelmed or overwhelmed. I'm just kind of whelmed. I was expecting some level of weirdness, but maybe a bit more to it than that. I was expecting, I don't know, just something more. You're a dwarf? Okay, you were the second person to reference these like songs. I'm assuming, is it from Yogscast? You were the second person to reference a Yogscast song. How popular was that song? That everyone knows about it, except for me. It's a banger of a song. It is. And you know what? This game is fun for a moment, and then it gets a little it just makes you want to play something else, you know. This was kind of interesting. It was okay. It was kind of nice. I do kind of wish there was more to it. But I guess you can't really do much with the concept of digging a hole. Don't know why Steam recommended this, but it was fun to try it out and just at least finish it and see what happens. I mean, honestly, the game's like what, $3, so it's not really much of a loss because I paid for this with the game with the game skin. Sorry, the thing all plays trailers, so it wasn't that bad. Pretty good. I will never play a game like this ever again though, because I don't think that would be. I feel like that'd be cruel. That'd be unnecessarily cruel to do to chat to play a game like this again. And I wouldn't want to force you to watch me play something like this twice. Why am I allowed to dig outside the bounds? What? Anyways, yeah, that's it for was it a game about digging a hole? I don't know what I expected. Like what could I have possibly expected that this game could have been?